Earlier, I was joined by Elaine Dang, a Westgate Mall survivor. I asked her what it was like the day of the attack.
I was at the rooftop of the mall and I heard booms, distant booms. And I mean, there were so many things that happened, but I think for me, it was essentially me and the crowd of women and children and parents and grandparents fighting for our lives. And so for me, that meant ducking, that meant hiding, and that meant, communicating with other survivors. To remain calm and to assess the situation. So, and eventually a group of men who now, after watching the HBO documentary, I know some of their faces and their names, but they came after the militants had left and led us to safety through a fire escape in the cafe.
Elaine, you yourself were injured, but you also know two people who ultimately died that day. How did you manage to stay safe?
I think it's a variety of things. I think the huge chunk of my ability was luck. I made decisions. I decided to run into certain places, but at the same time, I had no idea what was happening. So I think a lot of it was luck, and a lot of it was me really trying my best to remain calm and breathing. And that was something that I just knew I needed to do in order to keep a sane mind and to assess the situation. So combination of both those things.
The police have been widely criticized for their response time. This siege went on for 80 hours. That's hard to imagine. When you're thinking back to that day, did you have any reference as to how long it was taking help to arrive?
I did. There was a time when I thought about that, and I was just sitting there and listening to the mall music, and I thought about when are the police going to come? When is there going to be help? And so when the plainclothes policemen did come, I think being an American and expecting uniform, I was very hesitant to follow them. But luckily, I ended up doing that because that's what saved me, and that's what got me out of the mall and into a hospital quickly.
Since this attack, you say that you've really grown a lot as a person. You've found some good coming out of this.
Yeah.
Looking back at this day, how do you make sense of it?
Making sense of it is something I actually think about. I think about this day every single day of sense coming back, and it comes in different forms. Sometimes it's highly emotional, and it's me just wondering why this happened. And most of the time, it's me gathering strength from not just those who were lost, but also fellow survivors, and just realizing that just to be the best version I can, and do as much good in the world as I can, and also just really realizing what trauma can do to someone. So that's something else I've found a huge interest in since being diagnosed with PTSD is how much trauma people do go through and how resilient the human being can be. But what treatment methods, what can we do to promote faster resilience and healing from it?
And that was Elaine Dang, who joined us from San Diego earlier. She is one of the many survivors of the Westgate Mall attack a year ago.